What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Here before you is the Nothing Phone 2. It's been a while since I've been this hyped for a candy bar style device. That's been, our typical smartphone design for so many years now. And so that's one of the main reasons why I'm leaning so heavily into the foldables and really getting back into those again. Really anticipating, next Wednesday, the 26th, when Samsung announces, the Z Flip 5 and the Z Fold 5. But until then, as far as your typical candy bar style device, and we got some good ones out there, but right now it's all about the Nothing Phone 2. Super pumped about this phone. It got delivered yesterday, and I wanted to do this unboxing for you guys yesterday. I was super hyped when it came in the mail, and I had family over, and it was just a house full of people, and it was super loud, and there's just no way to record content under that type of atmosphere. So just got home from work. To my surprise, I got the house to myself. So I'm like, man, let's get into this Nothing, man. Yeah. All right. Boom. Carl Pie, or some people pronounce Carl Pay. Big wig at OnePlus. He was one of the main guys at OnePlus and had a lot to do with, helping OnePlus, helping produce OnePlus and helping OnePlus become a thing. And one of OnePlus's claims to fame was the fact that they were making smartphones, high-end flagship smartphones, at a fraction of the cost, significantly undercutting the likes of Samsung, Apple, LG at the time. At the time, LG was considered a major player in the mobile device industry. Just like I would always scramble to go get the latest iPhone or the latest Samsung device, I would also scramble to get whatever the latest LG device was, because they just made some dope phones. And so it's interesting that I mentioned LG, because I wondered, since their demise, and may they rest in peace as far as their mobile division is concerned, I wondered what OEM, what phone manufacturer would take over the reins as a major innovator in the world of smartphones. I feel like LG, they took a lot of risks, and whether those risks paid off or not, I still can respect a gutsy company that's not afraid to try new things, right? Nowadays, you got a lot of companies that just love to play it safe, right? Every year, it's like you feel like they're re-releasing the same phone, same design, and it's like it's gotten predictable, right? Like every year, what can we expect from the new phone? Okay, there's not going to be too much deviation from the hardware and the way that the phone looks. We know that it's going to get the updated processor. We know, or think at least, that it's going to get updated in the battery. It may get updated in the storage. Obviously, there's going to be some new hardware or software, if not both, in the camera department. You know what I'm saying? And just, other little things about the device are going to get fine-tuned. We may get the latest software, which may offer some additional features or whatnot. But ladies and gentlemen, that's really it. And it's boring. It's stale. And yeah, we got some good phones out there. You got the Pixel 7s and the 7 Pros and the 7As of the world. You've got the Galaxy S23 Ultras and the S23 series. We got the iPhone 14 series, which in my opinion, I think that the iPhone 13 mini, which I have behind me, is the dopest iPhone, just because, I see that, certain companies are really making a push for smaller powerhouse devices, to make a comeback, hence, the Asus Zenfone 10. I plan on getting my hands on that. The Zenfone 9 was a little beast, and it was a small form factor. And so that 13 mini, it's just a little cute little, a little powerhouse. In the form factor for somebody like me that's small in stature is perfect when I don't feel like carrying my Z Fold around, or my Surface Duo 2, or now my Pixel Fold, you know what I mean? Or, just some of the other high-end Android devices like the Moto Edge Plus 2023. Like, sometimes those experiences can be kind of cumbersome, But not to get off topic, it really feels like Nothing, Carl Pei and the Nothing team is really not necessarily taking over the reins from LG as far as them trying to innovate, but it seems like they're trying to pick it back up. I mean, one of their main slogans is they want to make smartphones fun again. And if you watched, the keynote presentation for the Nothing Phone 2 and how Carl Pei did it, like it was a vlog. And, he just went around, the world, or just where they have like different, Nothing stations set up, talking to different people about the design and what their overall vision is. And I can respect it. The Glyphy, LEDs on the back. I mean, it's different. It's not something that we've ever seen before. So I know for a fact that this device is going to turn heads because it's not something that a lot of people have seen. A lot of people don't even know about this joint. And so I was super ecstatic when I watched the keynote presentation to hear Carl Pei, sorry, brother, you know what I'm saying, if this video reaches you. I'm not trying to, desecrate your last name. But when he mentioned that this phone was coming to North America, because this is the Nothing Phone 2, right? The Nothing Phone 1 last year in 2020 came out and made a splash in the mobile device industry, but it was just overseas. Yeah, I could have got it imported, but I just didn't feel like going through all the rigmarole behind that because there's been other devices that I've imported. And because of the fact that they weren't made, for stateside use, it was hard to use them joints. And then you pay all that money and you've got limited functionality, or, with a SIM card in it, with AT&T or T-Mobile, you may be able to get spotty cell service, but you don't get any of your notifications, or vice versa. Or you may not just be able to use the phone at all just because it's not compatible with any of the cell towers stateside. And so it's just a brick. You can only use it if it's connected to Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons why I stopped importing phones. But super psyched when I heard that it was going to be released in the US, and it went up for pre-order that day. And I went to the Nothing US.com store and pre-ordered mine, and boom, got delivered yesterday. So, I know that was a mouthful, and, it just seems like the formula that OnePlus once had, it seems like Carl Pei is trying to carry on that tradition, right? Like, I feel like OnePlus right now, they're just another high-end option. They're just another high-end, expensive-ass option. Right. I mean, before, it was, that they kind of got that name for being the flagship killer because they were taking it to the flagships. They were making devices that were comparable, very comparable to, what we were getting with the major flagship players. But they were significantly undercutting those devices in price. Well, now, some of the latest, in the best, I do got to say with the OnePlus 11, I can go buy the OnePlus 11 right now for $599. That phone stacks up very well against, the top high-end devices of 2023. So I got to give them credit for that. But these last few years, as the years have gone on, it seems like the more devices that high-end flagship devices that OnePlus has dropped, there was an increase in uptick in price. Well, the Nothing Phone here is just like, we want to not only make phones fun again, but we want to make them affordable. And so that's where devices like this come in. So it's like, if you want something different, if you want something that's up to par, with today's latest and greatest, something that, is going to, turn heads, something that's different, something that's going to give you a different experience. They got their whole, Nothing OS. Like, I've seen it, but I've never held it in my hand. I can't wait to get it out of this box and get it in my hand. So with that said, I'm pretty sure some of y'all that are watching right now, like, well, Pristine, what you still yapping for? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it out the bizox. You know what I'm saying? So, but in my typical unboxing fashion, you know what I'm saying, I got to drop the specs on you real quick, and then we'll get it out the box. All right, so this phone retails for $599. Okay? $599. What does it get you? It's going to get you a 6.7-inch LTPO OLED 1080p by 2412 pixel display. This display is 120 hertz. It's HDR10+. It's a 20:9 aspect ratio. We've got a peak Maximum brightness at 1600 nits. We got a 394 ppi pixel density. It's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass on the front and the back, and the screen to body ratio is 87.2%. Now the internal specifications, we got the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and that's a pretty big upgrade from the Nothing Phone 1, because I believe the Nothing Phone 1 had a Snapdragon 778 in it, so it was more of a mid-range device. This is, offering up, as my man Flossie Carter would say, flagship specs, bro. Flagship specs. You know what I'm saying? Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. We've got an octa-core CPU. We've got an Adreno 730 GPU. We've got 128 gigabytes of storage with 8 gigs of RAM. Or we have 256 gigs of storage with 12 gigs of RAM, or 512 gigs of storage with 12 gigs of RAM. Now, this is the 128 8 gig of RAM, because I just don't need 256 or 512, because 128 gigs for me is more than enough. Like 32 gigs on a device would be sufficient for me, because I just don't load a lot of stuff on my device. So I just didn't really see the need for paying the additional cost that it would, cost me to get either the 256 or the 512, but those are options. So you got a 128 with 8 gigs of RAM, that's $599. That's this one. You got a 256 gig variant with 12 gigs of RAM, and a 512 gigabyte variant also with 12 gigs of RAM. Okay, storage non-expandable. And we're running Android 13 fresh out the box with Nothing OS 2 running on top of Android 13. And this is a dual SIM device as well. So if you got two SIMs with different carriers or whatnot, you can slap them bad boys up in here, and your days of carrying two devices, you can pretty much put that to rest if that's what you want to do. You do have dual SIM capability in this device. Now, cameras. We have on the rear a dual camera setup. We've got a 50 megapixel primary lens. This is a 24 millimeter sensor. It's a wide lens featuring PDAF and optical image stabilization. Now we have another 50 megapixel sensor, which is an ultra wide lens with a field of view of 114 degrees. And this is also featuring autofocus and optical image stabilization. We've got 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS, 1080p at 30 or 60 FPS, also featuring gyro electronic image stabilization, live HDR, and as I mentioned, optical image stabilization. Now on the front camera, we've got a 32 megapixel wide lens featuring HDR and 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now I've heard some people griping about the fact that, the selfie camera doesn't have 4K recording. I mean, to me, 1080p is still the standard. So I could care less whether a phone offers 4K recording or not. Because whenever I record footage on a cell phone, I'm always using 1080p. I never bump it up to 4K because there's just no reason for me to. A lot of times I can't really see or distinguish the differences between 1080p and 4K on a phone. And 1080p has always served me just fine. So if the phone doesn't have 4K, it's good that we have 4K at 30 or 60 on the rear cams, but on that selfie camera, you do not have 4K. To me, that doesn't bother me at all whatsoever. If that's a deterrent to you, then hey, you may want to explore some other options. All right. Now, battery. We've got a 4,700 milliamp hour non-removable battery. Obviously, Type-C 2.0 OTG or Type-C 2.0 on the go. We've got what's the charging speeds? 45 watt with a brick that I believe does not come in this box. You can see how thin this box is. So yeah, there's no charging brick in there. That's going to be a separate accessory that you're going to have to buy, but it's capable of charging at 45 watts, fast charging. Nothing is claiming 100% from zero in approximately an hour, 55 minutes. So an hour is what they're claiming. We have 15 watt wireless charging. We do have reverse power share. And then we have that's going to run you 100% in 30 minutes, or I'm sorry, in 130 minutes.
Hope you have a good one.
Okay, Alexa just started talking. Wow, that was random. Okay. But yeah, so the 15-watt wireless charging, it's 0 to 100 in 130 minutes. And then we have 5-watt reverse wireless charging for reverse power share. All right, now additional features, we've got Bluetooth 5.3, dual stereo speakers, NFC, under the display, optical fingerprint reader, always on display. We've got IP54 water and dust resistance. We got the Glyph interface on the rear of the device, which is consistent of several different LED lights that signify notifications, ringtones, track how far away your Uber is. I don't use Uber. I drive pretty much everywhere I go. But, for those of you that like to catch Uber and stuff like that, I mean, that's a really cool feature. And another thing with the Glyph interface, I mean, it's to help keep people engaged with life and not so much constantly eyeing their cell phones. If you go out and about, or even just in your own home, and you look around, if you're out and about, a lot of people aren't even really all that aware of their surroundings because their face is buried in their cell phone. They're buried in content. And I really like the approach with Call Pay and the Nothing phone. It's just like we're taking a very minimalistic approach as far as the OS. Like we're going to give you a crap load of customizations that you've never really seen before in the OS. Just to, keep you just as engaged as you need to be, but nothing more, nothing less. You know what I mean? Which is why it's called the Nothing phone. And it's about just making sure that you're connected with the necessities, but that you're not so engulfed in those necessities and getting pulled in by apps and just getting sucked into this rabbit hole of constant content to where you are just having a very hard time balancing between time that should be allocated for friends or family or just other things in life that are important rather than just having your face glued into your cell phone. And that just seems to be the norm everywhere you look. Everywhere you go, everybody's on their cell phones. Everywhere. People are getting in car accidents on their cell phones. It's crazy. So I really, really like the approach with what Carl Pay and what Nothing is looking to accomplish here. We also have facial recognition. We've got 3 years of Android updates, 4 years of security patches. And we have three high definition mics on the device as well. So that's going to help with like noise cancellation and stuff like that. When you're talking on the device. Now the colors that you can get this device in, you can get it in white or dark gray. This is the dark gray variant. So the color of the box is actually the color of the device. And then the phone weighs 201.2 grams. That's 7.09 ounces. All right. So those, ladies and gents, are the specifications for the Nothing Phone 2. That's what your $599 is gonna get you. Let's get it cracked out the box here. And you can see this is the box that it came in. You see the little slim design. So obviously there's no charging brick, but I do like the design. I mean, it feels very premium here. We've IMI. Serial number, all that kind of stuff. Up top here, you see Nothing Phone 2 right there. You can see that. And let's go ahead and get it cracked out. So we got this little tab right here. There was no plastic or nothing on the device to peel off. So actually, I like this. All right. Let's see. Okay. Still ended up ripping the box. Wasn't trying to do that. Okay. So we're just going to slide this out like so. Toss that to the side. And here we are, ladies and gents, with the Nothing Phone 2. All right. Let's see. Earth first. Okay, so there just says Nothing Phone 2 has 53 ports made with sustainable materials. Its packaging is plastic free. Okay, appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and get it cracked out the plastic here. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. All right, wow. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nothing Phone 2. Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead and power it on here. Now we got some juice. Nice little haptic feedback right there as the phone powered on. Okay, see what else we've got here. We've got designed by Nothing. So these are just going to be the safety information and warranty information there. See that? All right, we'll just file that to the side real quick. And then here, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the Nothing SIM ejector tool. And you can see it's, transparent just because the device, it comes with the transparent back. You can see all its innards. So that's pretty dope. That's a nice touch. And then we get the Type-C to Type-C charging wire. And it too is also, not the whole wire, but the tips are transparent. And it says Nothing on that. If you could see right there in the glare, like that's a nice touch right there. I like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the unboxing experience. So now, here is the device. And wow, and I like the way this device feels in the hand. I've seen in other reviews that the back of the device, it's rounded, and you can see that. And so that's gonna offer just a better feel in the hand. And wow, this device, I mean, it's light as well. Like it's 6.7 inches. I mean, a lot of people would say that this is a big phone, which it is, but it's really lightweight. Like the box feels kind of hefty, but when you take this out of the box, I mean, wow, it's much lighter than what it actually looks. Wow. All right, well, let's just go on a hardware tour real quick. So again, we've got 6.7 inches. That's going to be corner to corner. Okay, again, this is an LTPO OLED display. And this, and I know that Carl Pei, he's made a lot of he's mentioned Apple a lot, and I feel like there may be some inspiration with the design from Apple, because if you take a look, like if you look at this, like if you look at the design, like the top, like even this, like this looks, the bottom of this looks like it could be an iPhone, right? I mean, it's like I like how just everything's flat, well polished. But yeah, to the right of the device we have our power button right there. We've got an antenna line here, here, and here. So 3 antenna lines to the right of the device. Up top, we've got another antenna line. There's one of those canceling microphones. We've got another antenna line right there at the top right. To the left of the device, we've got antenna line, volume rocker up and down, and then another antenna line. Now that's interesting that they decided to go with the power button on one side and the volume rocker on the other. I've gotten so used to devices that have, mainly the Pixels, they have just the power button and then the volume rocker all on the same side. I mean, so that's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I'm game. I'm up for it. But yeah, at the bottom of the device, here's our SIM tray. Some more antenna lines. We've got another noise canceling mic right there. Type-C port, bottom firing speaker. And then of course, the rear, which you are going to, the rear is totally transparent. You can see the LED lights, in the Nothing Phone 1, it was just a big light, like all the LEDs were connected. Here, it's kind of broken up, and that's to signify different things. We've got the LED lights here, so that, right by the charging port. So when you charge the phone up, then that's going to light up, indicating that the phone is charging. And I'm pretty sure if you've got this phone sitting on its face, the charging LED is gonna, signify how much charge you have. So like if this whole bar right here is lit up, then I'm pretty sure that's gonna mean that the device is fully charged. Then you can take it off the charger. But man, the camera housing, I mean, this is dope. I really, really am a fan of the design and the way that this feels in the hand. Again, I mean, this phone it's not as heavy as it looks. Very, very comfortable to hold in the hand. I like the fact that the corners are rounded in the back, toward the sides, because that definitely helps be able to grip the phone. I've got very small hands, but even though this phone is a big phone, I mean, I don't feel like I'm struggling to wield it at all whatsoever. So yeah, I can. This is more than likely going to be a fingerprint magnet, and I'll just say this: always, put a case and screen protector on your devices. But on this particular phone, you got to get a clear case. You got to get a transparent case to put on the back of this thing, because you don't want anything to cover up the Glyph interface. You don't want that. You want people in shock and awe when they see this thing. When they see them lights flickering or see them come on, people are going to be asking you, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? So this is going to be, for a lot of you that decide to rock with this, a head-turning experience. And you may find yourself having to explain away more than you like, because I'm pretty sure people are going to be looking and asking, man, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the phone set up real quick. So you guys, hold it down for a little bit, and I'll be right back with you. All right? All right. All right, y'all, so we are back in. Welcome to the desktop or the home screen for the Nothing Phone 2. Wow, very impressed by Nothing OS 2. The main thing is minimization, and I am very much a minimalist. I really feel like this phone is for people that are extremely meticulous. I've got OCD big time OCD, and like I'm one of those guys where, like, I'm like the guy in Sleeping with the Enemy, minus, what I'm saying, the spousal abuse. You know what I mean? But I'm very much so one of those guys to where, you come in my home, everything has a home, everything's put away. Clothes are folded up, hung up. I've got my boxers, folded a certain way. I got my tank tops folded up, t-shirts folded up a certain way, socks folded up a certain way. If you go in my pantry, canned goods and everything have to be like facing you, stacked up neatly. You know what I'm saying? Nothing out of place, like, right? Like one of those guys, like I could tell, like if somebody's in my space or in my home, if something is moved, you know what I mean? Man, and my car is like that, and I kind of have to like organize things in this particular manner in order for me to be comfortable, in order for me able to be functional. And I feel like this phone is like geared towards people that are meticulous like that, right? Because I mean, it offers a very minimalistic, design approach as it pertains to the operating system, but yet there's so much that you can do and like customize and things just to really tailor make it, for you. And just setting this device up, I mean, I feel like I've like it's grown on me, like, right? It's one of those things where it pulls you in, and of course, just me already being like that, and knowing that that's this device's aim. I mean, it's like just like a perfect match. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, I got, all the new devices, the Razor Plus and the Pixel Fold, and yeah, I'm like in the process of testing all those phones. But my main SIM card is going in this joint. And I already know, just by the feelings that I have about this phone thus far, just from the setup, that yeah, I may have to put the foldables down for a minute, man, and really rock with this with this joint. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna rock the phone enough to give you guys, a very thorough, full review experience. I mean, so that if you're, looking to invest in this, I mean, then you can watch my content and hopefully, that could, bless you with whatever it is that you're looking for to help you make an informed decision, right? But this really resonates with me, and I find it hard to believe that it wouldn't resonate with people that are very similar to how I am. You know what I mean? So I mean, this operating system, I mean, it's a stock Android experience. It's clean. I didn't bother putting any of my apps on it because I just wanted to see exactly what, the OS was going to look like, just bare bone without any of my applications downloaded on the device or whatnot. I also wanted to show what comes pre-installed, show exactly, what the storage options are or what the storage is looking like real time, like fresh out of the box without me putting anything on the device. I mean, so when I show what's in the storage, I mean, that's actually what you have, and what's used is what's used by, the pre-installed applications, which is just, just the stock Android suite. All right. But I like the minimalistic black and white pixelated look. It seems like the color scheme is like that black and reddish, as you can tell, like just even on the clock, how the little timer that goes around the clock is red. Like red is my all-time favorite color, but my favorite color combination is red and black. I have so much red and black clothes and shoes. I mean, it's insane how much red and black stuff that I have. And so, I really like just the red and black theme, and that's like that can be changed, obviously. It's an Android device, but I mean, that's the theme of this device coming out the box. And so I'm like, man, it's like this device, it speaks to me. It's like Carl Pei was like, yo, Pristine, bro, we got you, man. This is for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Carl Pei and the Nothing team, man. I mean, this is phenomenal. I'm totally ecstatic that they decided to drop this in North America for us to get our hands on it and experience this. Pardon the interruption there. Okay, so where was I? Clean OS. Yeah, let's just go through it real quick. I mean, obviously, when you swipe up, I mean, this is, it's an Android device. I mean, so if you're familiar with Android, then you're not going to have too much trouble navigating this device. It just looks a little bit different. Okay. Obviously, if you swipe up, this is going to get you to your app tray. Okay. And in the OS, it gives you the opportunity to, like, if you're curious to know, okay, well, man, what launcher is that? Or, why are all the apps not their typical colors and things like that? It's an option in the settings under the display settings where you could choose, whether or not you want the app icons to be what they've always been or the nothing style, which again, like I said, I mean, this phone is taking a very minimalistic approach to keep you engaged with life and not necessarily your phone. Even so much to where there's research, according to what Carl Pei was saying, that there's research that show that even if you change something with an app icon, taking away its color, it has less of an impact, or it lessens the ability for the app to pull you in and take you down the rabbit hole of content. That can be such a distraction to other things that are going on outside of what's going on your cell phone. But I'm like, yo, I mean, that's dope, and that's a great approach, and they did the research at Nothing, so who am I to sit there and call them a liar? But I love it. I like the way this looks. You know what I mean? And I'm already the type to where I try not to keep my face buried in my phone, and, you know, just try to have balance in my life. You know, there's a time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time to handle business, you know what I'm saying? Or when it's time for leisure, when it's time to spend time with my wife or the kids or whatever, if I'm, you know, hooking up with the homies and we just going to chop it up and grab a little bite to eat and catch up just because our work schedules clash and we don't get a chance to link up that often, I'm not just buried in my phone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, but there's a lot of people where what nothing is aiming to do by creating this operating system, hoping to, you know, help people scale back from going down that content rabbit hole on their phone. I mean, man, this stuff like this is going to help. You know what I mean? So, man, I mean, so if you're curious to know, like, man, I mean, I'll show you. Stick with me. Stick with me. All right. But this is the app tray. Obviously, I don't have anything set up like, which is why I don't have pages or anything. Obviously, if you swipe hard to the right, it's going to take you to your Google Now feed. So obviously, you know, once you sign in with your Google username and password, then, you know, whatever content that you have coming to your feed, then that's what it's going to be. You know, me, I've got Nas is my favorite artist. You know, big up to Nas. He just dropped Black Magic 2. You know, today, I've been banging that since 9 o'clock last night. You know, I'm on the West Coast. And so, you know, huge music guy. New music comes out every Friday on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. But those albums come out East Coast time. So 12 midnight East Coast is 9 o'clock my time. So I was able to access the new Nas last night at 9 p.m. And I've been rocking out to this joint, man. This boy got bangers, man. He's killing the rap game. And no one comes close. No one comes close. Shout out to Nas, man, and the whole Mass Appeal team. But yeah, you know, sports scores, obviously, tech stuff, you know, prank videos, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I watch a lot of that type of stuff in spare time. That's what my Google Now feed is comprised of. Okay, obviously we swipe down from the top. This is going to take us to any kind of notifications that we may have, and then just some quick, our most frequently used quick toggles. And then obviously if you want to access the full display of quick toggles, then yeah, you swipe down again, and this is going to take you there. Okay, now the two main that you use, that's what these two circles are up top: Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? But you can change those. And then obviously, you know, down here, you know, flashlight, location, glyphs, wallet, device. Not sure what that, it's cut off right there, but do not disturb, auto rotate, glyph timer, battery saver, alarm, dark theme, NFC, and then scan QR codes. Now we can edit this by hitting that little pin icon right there. And then we've got just a whole slew of other little quick toggles that we can add up to our list up there. Okay. This is very, you know, reminiscent of a Pixel. You know what I'm saying? It looks a little bit different. Yeah, so that's that. Okay. Now, if we just real quick, just the biometrics. I mean, God, the haptic engine on this device, amazing. It feels very, very similar to a Pixel. Nice haptic feedback, strong response. It feels extremely premium, as it should. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like one of those haptic engines that you're going to have to turn off just because it feels, you know, cheap and the vibration motor is trash. No, this was well crafted and thought out. And so double tap to put the phone to sleep. Fingerprint sensor right there. Fingerprint not recognized. What? Okay. Let's try that again for accuracy. Boom. Okay. Opens right up. No problem. Barely tap it. Accurate every time. I like the double tap to sleep. The double tap to wake. Okay. Face unlock is also lightning quick. I'll demonstrate that real quick. Okay, phone up. Boom, as soon as it sees your face, it just pops open. Let me try that again real quick. That was off the screen. Okay. Oh, this little camera, my camera thing is in the way. Boom. As soon as it recognized me, it opens up with no problem. Let me try that again just for the sake of accuracy. Okay. Boom. Just like that. Opens up just like that with no problems. Okay, so we got, you know, the biometrics, you know, are all intact. Everything's working, fully functioning as they ought to be. Okay. Make sure that's right in frame, directly in the middle. Okay, boom, there it is. Got that 3x3, you know, grid on the viewfinder of my 4K camera here. So I got to make sure everything is lined up, you know, in between the lines, nice and straight and even. That's that's that OCD, you know, I'm talking about, man. It can't be crooked. It's got to be straight. Yeah. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, let's pop down into the settings, and then of course we've got network and internet, connected devices, apps, notifications, Glyph Interface. Now, if we go to Glyph Interface, obviously you got, so this is the Glyph brightness. So it's on auto right now, but you can toggle this to make the glyphs brighter. And it's gonna, like when you, let me see, okay, let me move this out of the way here. So when you toggle the brightness, okay, there's one setting, that's the mid setting, and that's the brightest setting. That's super bright right there. Okay, so for the sake of the video, we're gonna keep it on auto, and that's what it is on auto. Okay, if we go to ringtones, I believe there's like 10 ringtones that you can choose that are compatible with the Glyph interface. Okay, let me get that aligned nice and straight there for y'all. Boom. Okay, so if we go to ringtones, okay, so we have Nothing Phone 2, 10 sounds, Nothing Machines, 10 sounds, and then My Sounds, add your own sounds. Okay, that's the first one. That's the second one. And so what it's showing is if you choose this ringtone, that's how the Glyph interface is going to look while the phone is ringing, okay? And the phone is vibrating while it's doing this. I mean, that haptic engine is super strong, super strong. Oh, come on, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so there's that one, that's Wings. This is Dolphin. Okay. This is Anna. And it's just the lights that surround the camera are going off. This is Styx. That's what Styx looks like if you choose that ringtone. This is Wizard. This is Hammer. And this is CLWB. Not exactly sure what that means, but CLWB. If you hit sound only, then it says Glyph lights will be disabled. Okay. So by default, it's on crossing. Okay, we'll go out of that. Then we'll go to Nothing Machines. This is Pneumatic. Abra. Little beat right there, you know what I'm saying? All right. This is Plot. Interesting. Beetle. It's an interesting little sound. Squirrels. All right. Radiate. Oh, that's hard right there. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Hold up. That's hard right there. Radiate, and then you'll see. So that's what it's gonna look like if this phone is ringing, if you choose that tone. Okay. So that's radiate. This is tennis. Coded. That's an interesting title, you know, coded. I'm like, you know, I work in the medical field. You know what I'm saying? If someone coded, that ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So interesting. Coded means cardiac arrest. You know what I'm saying? That means that, you know, I'm, you know, offering resuscitative measures. Wu Ye. Okay. Okay. Interesting. And this is latency. And you see, you know, the Glyph interface is actually going off, you know, as these demonstrations are being provided. So just trying to show you guys what the back of the phone is going to look like if you decide to choose, you know, either one of these. And then you can add your own sounds. And you know me, you know, I'm a Halloween guy. All my ringtones on all my phones is that Halloween theme. You know what I'm saying? And so at some point, you know, I'm gonna want to put that on here, and I'm wondering, okay, well, will the Glyph interface work, you know, with that piano? That'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try that, man. So yeah, I'm gonna play around with that though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, once I get the unboxing video done. But it's like, if I can get that on here, which I can very easily, but if I can get the Glyph interface to the LEDs on the back to kind of be in sync with that little piano, oh man, that's hard in the paint right there, man. That's hard in the paint. Yeah. So yeah, so that are the Glyph tones. Okay. Now we got, you know, different notifications. Notification sound is oil, and let's see. Okay, so there's 10 notification sounds. Swanny or Swanny, not sure if that's how they pronounce that. Daub, D-O-U-B. Hum, I like that. Flap. Sharp. Wait. Quick. Okay. Cuckoo. Huh. Rude. All right. Croak. Man, what's going on with these? You know what I'm saying? They coded and croak. Like, damn. What's going on? Nothing? You know what I'm saying? And then Ionba, I-O-N-B-A. Yeah, that's okay. All right, yeah. So those are shout out to Tommy Martin. You know what I'm saying? He was always that. Yeah, those are the the notification tones on the nothing. Nah, I mean, all right. So then you got the Glyph lights. Obviously, you want those turned on. Flip to Glyph silence on demand. So for quiet focus, put the device with the Glyph interface face up on a flat surface to trigger silent lights only notifications and calls. The Glyph interface will pulse briefly when flip to Glyph is activated. Okay, so this is just it's, you know, other devices have flip to shh, right? Well, this is flip to glyph. So when you put this phone face down, then it's going to turn off all the notifications, but then you will be notified by the Glyph interface. And so if the phone rings, you're going to see the Glyph interface blink based on the ringtone that you selected. If you get a notification, same thing, the Glyph interface, it's going to vibrate and it's going to blink, you know, based on, you know, whatever notification, you know, tone that you selected. Okay, so rather than flip to shh, you got flip to glyph. All right, you got that? Y'all catch that? Y'all following me? Flip to glyph. Let's move on, shall we? We got the glyph timer, visual countdown. Okay, so mute alarm sound, and let's see, set glyph timer. Okay, so you can set a timer, and you see that's the bar that's blinking. So that's the timer LED right there. So when you set a timer, once the timer's set, then this LED, it's gonna start to trickle down. And then obviously, you know, once it gets all the way here, then boom, it's gonna make the alarm sound. And so that this little bar right here is also where you would track like an Uber or something like that. So the closer the Uber gets, the closer to the left the little LED bar is gonna get. And then obviously, you know, once it gets all the way to the left, then that's an indication that your Uber has arrived at your, you know, at its destination, which is to, you know, pick you up from whatever location you're at. Okay. But I think that's dope. As soon as you turn that on, it starts to blink. Okay, we got mute alarm sound, and then it says display timer progression with the Glyph interface. Timer is set to your last countdown by default. All right, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Glyph timer. Now, composer. Here we go. Create your own ringtone sound pack. All right. So Glyph composer. Oh, so it has to be installed. All right. Well, yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Glyph composer. Nothing technology limited. Okay. So we'll pop that open real quick. Okay. And this is the whole nothing thing right here. So like I said, it's all just like black, just minimalistic, pixelated look. Like, it's filthy to me. Like, it's dope. I really like it. I mean, at first I wasn't sure how how I felt about it when I saw the Nothing Phone 1. But then the more reviews that I watched about it, I was like, man, that's actually pretty hard, you know. And now that I actually got it, I'm like, man, I'm really feeling this. Okay, now it's your turn. Create your own Glyph sequences and use them as ringtones. So let's see, get started. Okay, boom. So this is just like, I don't know, like a drum machine almost. Allow composer to record audio. Yeah. Allow composer to access music and audio on this device. Okay, let's see. And you see it's recording the sound. Okay, boom. So it's asking me if I want to save or discard. Now, if I hit play, it's just going to play the same sequence that I just played, which obviously I'm just playing around with this, but okay. And you see, wow, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, discard that. Discard that. I'm gonna have to play with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a beat nut. You know what I'm saying? You know, so this is gonna take me to my beat creation. You know what I'm saying? Days, and I'm gonna have to, you know, put a little something dope up on here, man. But that's Glyph Composer. That's hard, man. That's dope. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that a lot. Okay, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Glyph Composer. All right, so we got volume indicator, audio level at a glance. Okay, that's going to show the audio level. Display the current volume level with the Glyph interface when adjusting. All right, Google Assistant visual response. display Glyph response when Google Assistant is triggered. And that's what it's going to show. Okay. Charging meter, wiggle for progress. Okay, so displays charging progression when charging with a cable. Okay, so that's going to be this little line right there. All right. Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, Glyph progression, third-party integrations. So see updates in real time. So integrates with third-party apps to show the progress of ongoing rides and food delivery services. More to come. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be like where you're gonna do like where it's gonna show your Uber, and it has Uber right here. But you have to have the Uber app installed. So it says Uber right here, not installed. So once you install the Uber app, then I imagine that that's gonna be clickable, and you can turn that on, and it says Glyph progression processes notifications from enabled apps to provide an estimation of progress. May encounter some reliability issues, most effective with apps that are set to English. Okay. All right. And then you got turn off automatically. So bedtime schedule. And you can set this. And that's another thing that I also like too about the always on display. You can set the timer. This isn't like the Pixel where the always on display is on all the time. And the only way to disable it is just to turn it off. But I like the Samsung approach. Like here's my Z Fold 4, and you'll notice when the screen is locked, the always on display is there, but I have that set for 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I have the always on display set for the same time here on the Nothing Phone 2. I really, really like having that control over the always on display as opposed to it just being on all the time, because obviously if it's on all the time, then that's more battery that's being drained, right? And so, yeah, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is Glyph Interface. Now, let's just go down the settings. So we got battery, we're at 53%, battery usage, battery saver, adaptive battery, battery share, battery percentage, battery health, sleep standby optimization. Typical shenanigans there. All right, storage, now 14% used. We got 110 gigabytes free. Okay, so this is the 14% that's used is all the pre-installed applications. This is the 128 gigabyte variant. So by default, if you get this variant fresh out of the box, you're actually getting 110 gigabytes of storage right out the box, which is more than enough of what I need. Okay. But you see right here, system 17 gigs, apps 1.4 gigs. Okay. Everything else is at 0 because I haven't put anything else on the device. So if you get the 128 gigabyte variant, just know that the system itself is taking up 17 gigabytes by itself, and the pre-installed apps are taking up 1.4 gigabytes, leaving me with 110. Okay. Boom. Sound and vibration, media volume, ring and notification volume, alarm volume, do not disturb, flip to Glyph, vibration, phone ringtone. Again, notification sound, that's just going to take you to, you know, the nothing ringtones and notification tones that I just showed you under the Glyph interface. Alarm sound, live caption, media, enhanced audio, enable direct audio from external audio devices, dial pad tones, screen locking sound, charging sounds and vibrations, screenshot sound, always show icon when in vibrate mode. Okay, that's sound and vibration. Okay, display. Brightness level, adaptive brightness, screen timeout. Just got that set to 30 minutes for the sake of the video so that the screen is not constantly timeout, but I typically keep that at 1 minute. Excuse me. Dark theme, always. Status bar. Show internet speed, show battery percentage, always show icon when in vibrate mode. And speaking of status bar, here's one more thing I want to show you too. Now look, you'll notice. Oh, okay, so now that I downloaded the composer, then it created another page there. You notice, where's the Google bar? Where's the search bar? You don't see the search bar. One of the main things that I do not like about Pixel devices, and there's not very many things that I don't like about Pixels, but I really don't care too much for the fact that you can't get rid of the Google search bar I actually kind of hate that with a passion. I want to have complete control over where I want the Google search bar. If I don't want it there, then I want to be able to either move it where I want it or just not have it there at all. Right? So I don't know if maybe, right when I started filming again and had the phone at the desktop mode here, or on the home screen rather, if you noticed right off top, man, where's that Google search bar? Well, under the settings, if you long press on the display and you go to customization, okay? And if you go to home screen layout, you got app grid, which by default, it's 4 columns. You can choose 5, and that's what it's gonna look like if you choose 5. But for the sake of it, and that's normally how I rock, 5 by 5, 5 apps across, 5 apps going up and down. But for the sake of the video, I'll just keep it at 4 by 4. Okay, you got app label, display app label on home screen, and then search bar, display search bar in the dock. Now, boom. So you see, if I hit apply, the search bar is right there at the bottom. Okay, but that's going to take up some of the screen. Okay, now by default, you already got the Chrome app right here. Okay, so I don't need the Chrome app and the Google search bar right there. I mean, so if I'm planning on just keeping the Chrome app right there for me to access, then why not take advantage of more screen real estate by removing the search bar? And you hit apply and boom. So now you just got all display. You see what I mean? That's more room for you to put apps. You see? So I think that was a very, very nice touch right there. Just having the ability to, rid yourself of the search bar if you don't want it there. Google, pay close attention. You know what I'm saying? Because that not being able to maneuver the search bar around, yeah, that's kind of whack, homie. You know what I'm saying? Now I deal with it. It's not a determining factor, right? But that's not giving me complete control over my device. I'm still having to look at that search bar. And see, I like to do stuff like this. If you look at my home screen on my Z Fold 4, like you see the search bar, how it's in between my Yahoo Mail and my WhatsApp apps. Like, if I want to do stuff like that, I want to be able to do. I can't do that on a Pixel device because they don't allow that type of customization. I'm not a fan of that. Now on this device, I don't know if it gives you that option to maneuver it around or whatnot. But I mean, just having the ability just to take it off the screen completely, man, 2 thumbs up, homie. 2 thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that. All right. Now, let's pop back into settings. All right. So under display size and text, colors, you got alive and standard. So what is alive? Alive is, what's the mode? Mostly on other devices, it's not ambient. God, what is it? It's just it's the mode that it saturates the colors more. So, things, it has these same photos on the Pixel Fold. But you'll see, like, for instance, if you can see the difference here, when you hit standard, still a colorful photo, but this is more of like a natural look. Okay, but then when you hit alive, it saturates it a bit. The colors get brighter. And I'm a big fan of that, right? You got your color temperature down here, warm or cool. Okay. So yeah, I like to keep it on alive. So you got alive and standard. All right. Boom. Night light, display refresh rate. It's on dynamic by default. Okay. Dynamically switch refresh rate according to content to optimize battery life. High, excuse me, a maximum refresh rate of 120 Hertz for smoother scrolling and animations. Then you got standard, a maximum refresh rate of 60 Hertz for better battery life. Okay, and then it says here, dynamic refresh rate switching technology enables the display refresh rate to dynamically switch to lower refresh rates to preserve battery life when viewing lower refresh rate content. Jeez. But you see, that's my ringtone. That Halloween, that's my ringtone. Hold up, y'all, that's my son calling, hold up. Okay, y'all, pardon the interruption. Okay, so that's display refresh rate. We got HDR display, enable peak brightness for HDR content. This will increase battery usage. That's on by default. We've got display apps in full screen. That's for apps that aren't optimized for full screen. Auto rotate screen, and then screensaver. That's off by default. Okay. Under lock screen, we got shortcuts, widgets, always on display. Okay. Lock screen widgets, lock screen shortcuts, privacy, quick look, double line clock, add text on lock screen, tap to show lock screen, lift to show lock screen, wake screen for notifications, always show basic information on screen. This is for always on display. Okay, now it says here, increased battery usage. So it's warning you if you keep it on all day, then it's going to drain the battery. But when you click on it, then it gives you and asks you when to show. And then it says always show basic info of lock screen. And then right here it says schedule. Turns on at custom time. So I have start time 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. end time 7 a.m. That's how always on display should be. It should not be something that's just always on. I think that's one of the main reasons why Pixels have battery issues. They do. You know what I'm saying? Because my Pixel 7, the battery life was not that great. And I'm pretty sure some of that was attributed to the fact that always on display is just on all the time. Like, I want to be able to set a schedule. I don't want it on all day. I have no problem at all with just lifting my phone up or just double tapping the display or whatever just to get the information to pop up for me to just take a quick glance at real quick. And I'm always wearing a smartwatch as well. So, you know, whatever device I have, you know, this is my Watch 5 Pro, the Samsung, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got the Pixel watch when I'm rocking the Pixel. I got my Apple Watch when I'm rocking the iPhone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got, you know, my Fitbit. Got the latest one, not the Sense 2. God, I can't think of the name of it. But yeah. I'm draped up and dripped out over here with the smartwatches, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm so used to having a smartwatch on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with these phones, I mean, to me, it's just like the perfect companion to these phones. And so I don't even need to look at that phone. I can just look at my wrist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I would prefer to be able to have always on display come on when I want it to come on, as opposed to it just being on all the time. All right. Glad to see that being the situation here on the Nothing Phone 2. All right. Boom. Okay. Now, accessibility. Here we've got all the accessibility. I mean, if you are, you know, hearing or vision impaired, you got everything here. Select to speak, talkback, display, size and text, color and motion, extra dim, magnification, accessibility menu, switch access, timing controls, system controls, vibration, live caption, caption preferences, audio description, audio adjustment, accessibility shortcuts, and text to speech output. Okay, it's got all the accessibility options that you may need. I'm hoping. Like, I don't suffer from any of these things, but I'm just saying this is a pretty robust list of things and options that are going to be helpful to those that are suffering from these ailments. So yeah, I'm assuming that this is going to be, you know, all that you're going to need if you guys as well want to invest in the Nothing Phone 2 here. Okay, we got security and privacy, and review settings, check for system updates, which, mind you, as soon as I took this phone out of the box, there was a system update and some like performance and stability improvements and stuff like that. So, I mean, fresh out the box, that's always a great sign. Nothing wants to make sure that you're going to have a great experience right when you turn this thing on and start getting it set up. I like that. Okay, so app security, Play Protect scanned 2 hours ago, device lock, screen lock, fingerprint, face unlock. You click on the little arrow. This is going to be where you can toggle those things, add fingerprints, add face, change your screen lock or choose your screen lock, whatever you want that to be. We got Google Security Checkup, Find My Device, updates. Again, this is where you go to check for device privacy, more security settings, more privacy settings. All right, boom. Location, safety and emergency, passwords and accounts, digital well-being and parental controls, Google, experimental features, try upcoming features in advance. Okay, so here we got connect to Tesla. And I told you, I mean, call pay. He mentioned Apple a couple of times. And so, you know, this is an Android device. And I've never seen this on an Android device. Connect to Tesla AirPods support. Show AirPods icon and battery info in your settings. So if I connect my AirPods, which I have right here, you know, connected to my little drawstring of my sweats that I'm wearing, the phones, man, do the iPhones even do that? Do the iPhones show the AirPods icon, like battery life and stuff on the screen? Like, I know you can get to it like in the toggles. But yeah, we got an Android device that says AirPods support. Wow, I've never seen that on any Android device. Damn. But yeah, I mean, my AirPods here are like my main Bluetooth device. I mean, I pair them with Android devices all the time. I mean, so I think, you know, Carl Pei, he recognizes that. Could also be, you know, maybe they're taking some technologies from the Apple playbook and implementing those things into the Nothing Ear 1 and 2. I'm just saying, yo, I ain't accusing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't accusing. But I think it's dope that he understands that, you know, AirPods are, you know, widely recognized as some of the best they're everywhere. They're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You notice them a mile away in people's ears. You know what I'm saying? And so it's good that they have that integration right there, knowing that there's a strong chance that a lot of people are going to be using AirPods, you know, with their product, you know, and that's ballsy to add that, because they got the Nothing Ear first and second generations. So I'm pretty sure they're going to want people to, you know, and I'm going to buy a pair of them joints, you know what I'm saying? Just because I like to have, you know what I'm saying? I never tried them before. I know that they're pretty popular, but now that I've got the Nothing phone, like I wish they had a Nothing watch. I'd cop that. Maybe that's coming down the pipeline. But, you know, I'm going to get me a pair of them Nothing Ear second gens and see what those is like. But I mean, it's realistic to think that people are more than likely going to use this device with AirPods. So why not integrate some technologies to kind of make it a more convenient experience for people? Like, that's dope. I've never seen that in an Android device before. Enhanced touch response, Glyph progress. Okay, those are the experimental features. And then you got system, excuse me, language and input, system update, updated to Android 13. Gestures, we got navigation, quickly open the camera. That's if you double tap the power button, which is right there. Hold power for assistant, one-handed mode off. Let me see. So one-handed mode, you just swipe down on the bar right here, and that's going to take you to one-handed mode. I don't really need that on. Tap to show lock screen, lift to show lock screen, flip to Glyph. Okay, those are the gestures. Okay, then we got game mode, date and time, backup, multiple users, reset options, and then about phone 2, and it says up to date, Nothing phone 2, processor, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Here's the cameras, you know, rear 250 megapixels, front 32, RAM 8 gigs, storage 128, battery 4700 milliamps, screen 6.7 OLED, Android version 13, IMI 1 and 2, user guide, legal information, regulatory labels, safety information, recycle device. Boom. Okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is all of your settings. Now, where is the camera? Let's pop into the camera real quick, and then let's close this thing on out. All right, nope, you don't need to know where I'm is. You know what I'm saying? Now, here we are with the camera. We got photo, portrait, we got more, we got time lapse, panorama, macro, and expert. Okay, you got the little pin icon right there to where you can move either one of these things down into the little bar down here. The other way, we got video in slow motion. All right, so let's just take a quick photo real quick. Let's see, it's my little hourglass, right? Oop, whoop, bumpy cam. Okay, see here. Okay, quick little shutter speed. Okay, take a quick selfie with that 32. Okay. Boom. Wow. Nice looking photo right there. Nice looking photo right there. Okay. Nice photo. Then share, edit, lens, delete. Okay. Now let's go back to the viewfinder, and we got our this is our flash, timer. These are, let me see, little filters: original, lenticular, Palma, blush, West, mono, Vista, and Eiffel. Okay, so those are the different modes that we have. And then here we have motion photo on or off. That's on by default. Ratio 4:3, 16:9, full or 1:1. Grid off, I want the grid on. And then we go to more settings. Save location, shutter sound, mirrored front camera, leveler, I want the leveler on. Watermark, I want the watermark on. Photo, tap to take a photo. Tap the screen to take a photo anywhere. QR code scanner, press and hold shutter to record video or to do a burst shot. We got scene detection, and then for video we got recording light, video encoding. Okay. And reset all settings. So those are the camera settings right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I think that this is what I'm gonna go ahead and call this one. Man, I'm impressed. It's good to see something new hit the market, something fresh, in a space that is so saturated with so many different devices that are all the same. Shout out to Nothing and Carl Pei for this. Like, this is dope. I can't wait to get this phone set up and throw my SIM card in it and start using it as my daily. And yeah, keep it locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I'm definitely going to have that full Pristine review. You already know, hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, share the video if you know of anybody that is looking for this device or wants to find out more information about it. Be sure to click that notification bell so that every time my videos drop and go live, you'll get first to be notified. And once you check out the content, the comment section is where I live. So be sure to reach out with any questions, comments, or feedback of any kind. All I ask is that we keep it respectful in the comment section. All right. So again, I'm your man Pristine, bringing you the content. This is the Nothing Phone 2. Keep it locked because I've got so much more content to come, and you guys already know. Please stay safe, get spiritually fit, and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.